Hello, everyone. On this podcast episode, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to continue from where I left off on the last episode. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, please go back and listen to it. It's not, I don't really say much, but it can help with this one. So to continue from what I left off, I'm going to say to you that do not look down on yourself, if you don't think you're the smartest person in the world, you know the whole intelligent quotient thing, the whole IQ test thing. It's a class system. It's like a new class system being created before your very eyes. You know, they're not seeing it as anything else less. You know why? Because the human body isn't. We haven't fully understood how the human mind works yet. We don't have a full understanding of how the human mind works. We don't have a full understanding of how the human body works, how the human brain works. We don't have a full, 100% grasp on it yet. You know, we don't have a full understanding of, so many things in life. Yet here we are, here a group of scientists, a group of teachers, a group of learned men, are coming to tell you that they've created a perfect, rubric that determines who's more intelligent and who's less intelligent in this world. When the truth is, even intelligence, the field of intelligence, hasn't been fully studied yet. If we haven't fully studied the entire field of intelligence of what really dictates intelligence, what are the edges of intelligence? Where does it start? Where does it end? How large is the whole field of intelligence? You know, how the complication of the complications of intelligence itself, the concept of intelligence, is far too deep for us to start creating arbitrary rules that determine exactly what dictates who's more intelligent and who's less intelligent. We don't have a full understanding yet. The human race does not have a full grasp of the concept of intelligence yet. Yet we're already deciding who's more intelligent and who's less intelligent. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? That the human mind isn't fully understood yet. The human body isn't fully understood yet. The human race isn't even fully understood yet. The entire world isn't fully understood yet. The universe isn't fully understood yet. We have no understand. We can't we can't even live off this planet Earth. We don't have the ability to live off the planet that we're in. We have no spaceships that can travel, to Mars and colonize Mars. The human race, the level of intelligence that we have, the level of knowledge that we have right now is nothing compared to the entire universe. Yet here we are already creating arbitrary rules. We're already creating arbitrary rules that determine what is intelligent and what isn't, who's more intelligent and who isn't. And we're not even capable of traveling to the next planet. We human race are not capable of moving to the next planet yet. We haven't even gone back to the moon in decades. So are you really going to tell me such a small, nascent, race is capable of understanding what intelligence truly is? Do you really think we have 100% grasp of intelligence when we can't even travel to the next planet? Do you really think we have 100% grasp of intelligence when we have we're still discovering the quantum level? We're still trying to understand matter. We're still trying to understand, plants and animals. We're still trying to understand the human race as a whole. We have no full understanding of the world we're living in. And yet here we are deciding who's more intelligent and who's less intelligent. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? Don't you think there's something wrong with us jumping to conclusion and determining that some people are more intelligent than others when we don't have a full understanding of the human body? We don't have a full understanding of, our own minds. We don't have a full understanding of, the human brain. Even our minds itself, we don't have a full understanding of the human mind. If we had a full understanding of the human mind, most of our issues, most of the mental issues that humans, go through will be easily solved by them, by scientists. We don't have a full understanding at all of the human mind. We never have a 10% understanding of the human mind. Yet here we are already deciding who's more intelligent or who's less intelligent. Don't you think there's a problem with, with these arbitrary questions that they're asking in the IQ test? Don't you think we need more, information before we can decide who's really more intelligent and who's not? Don't you think we need decades, or centuries worth of information about, maybe even, thousands of years worth more information, about intelligence before we can decide who's more intelligent and who's less intelligent? Don't you think there's a problem with us jumping to conclusion right now, and determining that some people are more intelligent than others when we don't understand what intelligence truly means? We don't have 100% grasp of intelligence, but you're already deciding that some people, certain groups of people, based on our own rules. Not this isn't a universal rule. These are universal questions. These are arbitrary questions created by a group of scientists. These are arbitrary questions created by a group of people. The same group of people could be mocked and shamed elsewhere. If a different country, if a group of scientists from a different country, reads the test of these IQ, within these IQ tests, they will mock and shame these very scientists for creating a false test. And yet here are many people believing this test as if it's 100% proof that some people are more intelligent than others. If you take the test and you have a high IQ, it automatically means you're more intelligent. Not true, because this is an arbitrary test. It's only from one perspective. And that perspective is very small. In the grand scheme of things, there's far more, to knowledge. There's far more to intelligence than we know. And so if we don't have 100% grasp of it, how are we going to tell people how are we going to dictate who's more intelligent, who's less intelligent, when we ourselves do not fully understand what intelligence is as a whole right now? Don't you think there's a problem with, jumping to conclusions and deciding who's more intelligent, who's less intelligent, based off rules that someone else created? You didn't create those rules. They did. They are the one determining, the people that create this IQ test, they're the ones determining that if you follow their rules, if you follow their rules, you're more intelligent than other people. If you pass their test, their arbitrary test filled with questions that may not make any logical sense in the grand scheme of things. If you pass the arbitrary test, you're more intelligent than other people. I feel like there's a problem there where we're so small. Our understanding of the world is so small. Yet we're already deciding who is more intelligent and who's less intelligent. I feel like this is just creating another class system where people are falsely accused of being less intelligent without a full understanding of what intelligence really means. Some people could be extremely intelligent, but because of the way the test is structured, they may fail the test because people do not understand, that intelligence. The people giving these tests, the people creating these questions, do not have a full grasp of what intelligence truly means, because the human race as a whole does not have a full grasp of what intelligence really means. So there's no way for them to have that, that great understanding of intelligence. So there's no, if you're ever, stuck in a situation where people think you're less intelligent than they are, it may not be accurate. These tests are not accurate. These tests have never been accurate because we don't have 100% understanding of, what intelligence truly means, as a human race. So that's what I want to talk about. Going to school does not determine whether you're intelligent or not. Not going to school does not determine whether you're intelligent or not. You're born intelligent or you're not. You're either born a human or you're not. Humans are by default more intelligent than apes, than baboons and chimps. Humans are more intelligent than, raccoons and ants and, rats and all this. Schools cannot teach a rat how to be as intelligent as a human being. You're born as intelligent as you are, and you'll always be as intelligent as you are, whether you go to school or not. Whether you graduate from an Ivy League school or not, you were born intelligent. If you're born a genius, you'll be a genius just like Einstein for the rest of your life. You'll figure things out faster than everybody else, whether you went to school or not. If you were born lesser, with less intelligence, you're still more intelligent. You'll still be, on average, as long as you're not born with, like, Down syndrome, or you're born with, without a brain, you'll be more intelligent than most, baboons and chimps out there. You know, you'll be intelligent enough to, navigate the world. Do not see yourself as someone who's useless. Most intel most humans are intelligent enough to navigate this world. You know, most humans are intelligent enough to build cars. To learn how cars work, to learn how, you're not useless as a human being just because you don't have a high IQ. When the truth is, the whole IQ test could be rigged. The people who control these IQ tests, you know, anybody can buy some of these IQ tests can be bought and paid for by corporations. These tests, these questions can be bought and paid for just to weed out certain groups of people. Just to that's the problem with these tests. That's why I'm saying it's a class system, because they're trying to create a class system based off this whole arbitrary IQ system, which is obviously all lies. There may be some truth to it. There may be some questions that should belong on that test, but when we don't have a full understanding of the human body, we don't have the full understanding of the universe as a whole. We don't have a full understanding of reality as a whole. All these universes and everything, we don't have a full understanding of everything in life. Yet we're already jumping to conclusions that we do. Don't you think there's a problem with jumping to conclusions that we have it all figured out when we don't? So, you may not be as dumb as you think you are just because you didn't go to school. And if you did go to school, you're not as dumb as your teachers think you are. Even if you graduate from Ivy League school, the person that got a higher grades than you may not be smarter than you, because schools do not test intelligence. They're there to teach. Schools are there to teach, and teaching, their job isn't there to weed out people who are less intelligent. Their job is to make sure that the vast majority of people understand the world that they live in. They're there to teach people. When schools forget their job, that's when they go bankrupt. The job of a school, of teacher, is to teach. It's to help people who don't have knowledge gain knowledge. It isn't to weed out who's more intelligent and who's less intelligent. This isn't the job of a school. The job of a school is to teach children knowledge that they don't have. And if teachers can't teach, it's the teacher's problem. If the teacher can't teach, a child, you don't blame the child for not being able to learn. You blame the teacher for not being able to teach, because it's the teacher's job. The teacher needs to learn how to do their job. If the teacher doesn't understand how to teach the student, look for a different teacher that knows how to teach that student. Even someone who's deaf and dumb can still learn. They can still, you just have to find the right teacher that can teach them. So the school's job isn't to weed out who's smart or who's dumb. The job of a school is to teach. If they forget that job, that's when they go bankrupt, because no one wants to go to a school that fails 99% of the students, because the students don't want to learn. It's not that the students can't learn, it's that the teachers can't teach. If your job as a teacher, you get paid to teach people, regardless of how smart they are. You get paid to teach people. Good teachers can teach everybody, no matter how smart or dumb they are. A good teacher is capable of teaching them knowledge, is capable of imparting knowledge to them that they don't understand, that they don't know. A bad teacher is the one that tells you, oh, you're not smart enough to do this. You're not smart enough to learn this, so I won't teach you. It's not that you can't, it's not that you're not smart enough to learn, it's that the teacher is not smart enough to teach. The teacher does not understand how to teach people. If the teacher does not understand how to teach people, the teacher gets fired. If 90% of students fail a teacher's class, it's not the student's fault, it's the teacher's fault. The teacher does not know how to teach. And the teacher's job is to impart knowledge. If you're incapable of imparting knowledge as a knowledge imparter, you're the problem, not the student. We already know the students do not understand, what's going on. That's why they need you. The students need you to teach them complicated knowledge that would be hard for them to learn on their own. That's why they need teachers. If a school is incapable of doing its job, They shouldn't be blaming the students for not being able to learn. They should be blaming the teachers for not being able to teach, because the teachers get paid to teach and the students pay them. The government pays teachers to do their job. If the government and the students can't, pay you to do a job and you're incapable of doing it, you're the problem, not the students. If you get paid, if an electrician gets paid to wire a house, and the electrician comes and says, "Oh, your house is hard. Your house is very difficult for me to work on, so I'll blame you for it." Why are you gonna blame the person that hired you for you not being able to do your job when this person didn't do anything wrong? It's your job as a teacher to teach. It's your job as an electrician to fix the problems inside that house. If you're incapable of fixing the problem inside the house, do not blame the person who paid you to do it. Blame yourself. You're the one that's incapable of doing it, not them. You see, so if you're someone who's ever been caught in that situation where, you're called dumb, you're called, don't listen to them, man. You're not as dumb as you think you are. You may not be as dumb as you think you are. You may even be a genius and nobody even knows it, because there's no real test that, there's no way to really test someone who's really smart. The only way you can really test someone is probably through, how quickly they learn. That's one of the marks of intelligence is, how quickly you learn things. But that's not the only, criteria for intelligence. And the whole field of intelligence requires a lot more information before we can truly decide what truly makes someone intelligent and what truly doesn't. We truly have to study it for more, for a longer period of time, for more years or more centuries to come before we can truly decide whether someone is truly more intelligent or not. We have no full understanding of the human body. We have no full understanding of the world as a whole. We have no full understanding of intelligence. We have no full understanding of the human mind. So right now isn't really the time for us to be deciding that some people are more intelligent than others. But that's it for this episode. I'll talk to you guys later.